Hello YouTubers, Charles here. I'm here on my stone world. I'm going to show you something, but not something that I've built recently. I'm going to show you something that I've built a long time ago. I actually gone back and looked at some of the old worlds I've played on. I have a few copies of some of these servers' worlds that I've played on in the past, and I don't even remember when this is from, but I'm pretty sure it's from before hoppers were in the game. But I had originally the server was a survival world, but as players started dropping off, the admin started basically giving out creative to quite a few people, and I was among them, and I had built this. It's a giant airship. Let's turn my UI back on. And at the time, it produced a whole bunch of stuff automatically. Basically, everything that I could produce automatically, I did. And I called it the Autofood, obviously. Now, right now, it's turned off. I'm going to turn it on a little bit at a time, because it does get pretty laggy. Like, one of the things you won't see here, because this world is set to automatically reset the time of day, but I had an old school growing grass daylight sensor. Now this only had one block of sensitivity, but when it did detect daylight, it was gone. A whole bunch of these lights come on, and actually let me actually, was it like that? Yeah. Let me really quickly disable that. It's right over here. Yeah, well, it issued that command again, but so if we just give it a few seconds, maybe up to a minute, but most of these glowstone lamps will come on. You can see I've got some dispensers here with arrows as defenses. And these are actually cannons that I copied out of, well, not directly copied, but looked at and made my own versions of. There was a cannon game that some people made. Oh, got a missing block there. And let's fix that. Come on. I know it's not, because it's only one bit of grass, it doesn't detect it that quickly. Maybe something's broken with the circuit. But basically, yeah, there's some grass in there, and there's water on one bit of it, and when that bit dies, the circuit down here activates, and I don't even really remember how half of this works. Is it... Oh, so this turns off? I think that's what it is. This turns off, and then the torch turns on, which turns on the lights. And, well, that's not the impressive part of this ship. Let's head back up top. Yeah, so these are cannons, and I don't want to risk blowing up the ship, but the idea was you would put TNT, push this button, they would have to be next to the red, and the more TNT, the further it would go. You would then put one here. Pushing this button would activate these TNT, and then you could push this button to activate this one. If you didn't push this button, this one would be automatically activated by this redstone here. in just enough time so that it would be shot away. That would basically give you the furthest shot, where if you did it earlier, it would explode earlier and not go as far. You can see these work, not quickly because you have to keep pressing the button, but so there's 2 cannons in the front and then 2 on each side. So we got these helium balloons or whatever, and we got balloon pumps, and refilling the balloons. It's supposed to be like a pipe and something being pumped up, but that's how it works. There's actually 4 of these, 2 on each side. Works exactly the same. Basically, how it works is there's a piston that pushes up just as that pulled back, and then when the up one retracts, this one extends again, so the sand can't fall. And then there's just one more piston at the top that pushes the block down, so when the block hits here, it activates the whole system to run again. You see we got melons and pumpkins here, and I'll turn them on in a minute with the whole rest of everything. Yeah, so there's 2 more cannons on the side here. 2 more pumps in the back of the balloons. And you got a captain's wheel here. At least that's what that's supposed to be. And, well, there's a wheat farm that, well, you have to plant it yourself, but it will automatically harvest by flipping the switch. The water will run down and sweep away all the wheat. And there's more seeds and hose and bone meal here. But the main part of the ship is this right here. Mostly the food processing. Let me turn the engines on and show you that first. That causes a bit of lag, as well as the food processing. But you can see we got these little engines on the side here and the back and the bottom. It's supposed to be pushing the ship along through the air. Looks like well, not sure if the daylight night detector is still working or not. It's day again, so but this causes quite a bit of lag. A little bit of lag. The next option, though, this causes the most lag. And this controls basically all the food generation. In just a few seconds here, I'm not sure if it's once a minute or so, but this piston will open up. Oh, there we go. And food drops out. And then after a few seconds, there, it closes up. And this was all before hoppers. There's a whole network of water streams through the ship. One main one down the center, bottom of the ship, that carries everything away. So if I harvest this wheat, I said if I... Well, that must have broken too. There is... Oh, we're getting a signal up from something else. Well, let me just fix this quickly. Nice. Oh. Hard to tell where there's half slabs or where there's not. this food processing on turns on a whole bunch of systems, including every 5 minutes or so these should get harvested. Every 5 minutes or so. Alright, these are all going to get harvested. And you can see they all flow down here into this water stream. And flow along back here. We got some cactus. Got some chickens. And everything flows down here. And that's the piston that lets everything out. I think we just missed seeing everything drop. But I can come out here quickly. And fall all the way down here. And there it all is. And then the water stream will just push it out away here. Originally where this was situated, it was a little bit of a hill that some of this stuff rolled down, and it kind of got spread out more than it is here. But there's quite a bit of everything there. You see pumpkins and melons and wheat and lots of seeds and eggs. And let's kind of show everything off a little bit more than I did. This is the egg production area. There's a bunch of chickens here. There was actually more, but in the copying or whatever, it's just the time for my last played on the server to when I got a copy of the map. Some escaped or whatever, so I repopulated it a bit. But there used to be a whole mess of chickens here, and then every 4 minutes, I think it is, this drops down, the water comes out, sweeps any laid eggs into this bit of water. There's signs holding up. Oh, here comes the water. A lot of the chickens get swept away too. But you can see the eggs, and the eggs will fall down through the water. The chickens, though, will try to swim. It's actually 2 blocks deep, and then there's a sign, or a series of signs, and, oh, okay, yeah, the wheat did harvest. It harvests on the same timer, so let's turn that off. See, some of it gets caught, but, the wheat just drops down here, as well as the, chickens. The chickens are up here. So you see there's 2 blocks of water. Even on the server, with a little bit of lag, the chickens wouldn't come down through the water. But the eggs do, and then water streams push them right into here. And the eggs continue down towards the back. And then eventually get pushed out. We got some cactus here, so whenever a cactus grows, it'll break because of the wood, hopefully falling into the water. And if it does, it will then get pushed into the stream, just like everything else. There are some more decorative parts. So here are the chickens. This is supposed to be a navigation room. Never got around to modifying the texture pack to have maps on the wall here. But it's supposed to be all little charts and stuff, little spaces for things. Downstairs from the navigation room, this is supposed to be the captain's quarters. Table, chairs. Had some records for music in bed here. This was supposed to be the booty room, treasure chests, but they're all empty, never had anything in here. This is actually the torches that control the pistons in the chicken room. You can see this is the dirt of the chicken room. The captain's quarters also a bit leaky. Wanted to kind of cover that with half slabs, but it ran out of room. Well, I'm trying to decorate it. But let's get back to the mechanics. Actually, there's a little bit more of decoration. So then down here, we have a restroom with a sink and then a hole out at the bottom of the ship. But here's the main mechanics room. And it's pretty complicated. I don't recall how this all works. But I actually started with this, which I'm not sure if it will still run or it will burn the whole place down. But let's see. This was, again, this was a long time ago, and I was given admin access, and at that point, there weren't hoppers, so there wasn't a really good way to make a chicken farm. So we just, I came up with this, though, to make cooked chicken. So that will should spawn chickens. And they're supposed to get... Okay, they do fall down eventually. The pistons will push them, briefly exposing this lava. And let's wait for that to happen again. Basically, the lava is briefly exposed, and then chickens are kind of pushed to the edge of the lava, and then out a hole. Now, if they would only fall down, I think they used to shoot out a little further. And oh, there we go. We got a whole bunch. So you can see there's some tight timings here, but huh. Oh, when I copy this, water didn't get copied over. So I am missing that. There we go. It looks like it's not working now, but when it was worked, you would get cooked chicken out of this. And it would flow down here into the waiting... Oh, there's some cooked chicken there, I think. Anyway, you get cooked chicken out of this machine. So this was the first thing I built, and then I built most of the rest of this around it. This right here is actually the main timing circuit. You can see it going around, I don't know if it's 2 seconds or whatever. But this is the main timing circuit. It can be turned off from that switch upstairs, which comes down here through... through this, there's actually repeaters in the wall, basically zigzagging the signal back and forth and down. The switches are right up here, and here's some more of the circuitry, I should say. Right in here is the repeater, and there's another one for the other switch. This is the food processing, and that's the engines. It all comes down through this room. Here's the one engine thing. You can see it's just delayed repeaters to get the engine to move like it does. But there's this AND gate, which if this torch, if this isn't powered, would stop this. But we got this timer here. Then we got a bunch of T flip-flops that basically divide this timer and keep dividing it. We got 1, 2. There's some eggs. Like 3, 4, 5, and then this is a big delay loop for something, so it comes on and then stays on for a bit before going off. And then there's a few other, here's 2 more T flip-flops that act as dividers. This is going up to, this is the circuit for the pumpkin and melon farm that needs to let the water flow for a good 30 seconds, so that's why there's all these repeaters here. This can be done much simpler with hopper timers these days. And here's some of the note blocks that get played. In the midst of all this, there was still some room. So here's the main water, and that goes right above here. You can see the drips. So right down the center of the ship. But on the left and right, we had a little bit of room, so I made crew quarters here. Everybody's got a foot locker and a bed. And then on the other side of this ship, on the other side of this main water, got a galley, mess hall. That's another sink, some ovens and whatever. A few tables. Of course, we got the signals going right up through here. Yeah, so this is the floor I kind of showed you before with the cactus farm. Small one, but it's there. So later on, based off the chicken cooker, I had the Baconator that worked on pigs. That actually, again, it pig spawn eggs, and you could turn it off. Apparently, not really working anymore. Oh, I know why it's not working anymore. Oop. Let's not burn the place down. And I knocked out redstone somewhere, didn't I? Again, I don't know if this was 1.3 or 1.4. It was after pistons, but way before hoppers. So, let's turn that back off. Come on. Let's make that safe again. I tried to do the same thing with cows over here, or at least similar, and this actually literally did almost burn this whole place down. It did catch some blocks on fire, but I was able to get it out before too much damage was done. So this is the rest of the melon farm, and it's actually harvesting right now. So basically the land is lifted up, which breaks the melons that are on it. The water is let out, washes the melons down, then water's turned off, and then a small delay before the land comes down, so we make sure the water doesn't wash away the vines. And the melons and pumpkins are supposed to grow approximately once every 10 minutes, but it's random. This, I think, harvests like every 5 minutes. So, on average, half the melons and pumpkins will be ready if the machine is continuously running. Here we have a sugarcane or paper factory farm. And it's pretty simple. Occasionally, sugarcane will land on the edge, but it works pretty good. Relatively simple to set up. And let's see what else is there. Covered pretty much everything. There is one more kind of secret thing. These balloons were big empty spaces for the most part, except for the little bit of circuit for the dropping of the sand or whatever. So I decided to fill them up with something. I'm not a musician though, but yeah. This one is different, but it's bad. It's just the same notes over and over again, I think. Pretty much. Yeah. So that's, what I built way back when. This is at least 4 different server worlds ago, I believe. Let's just take a quick peek inside here. Yeah, so the button comes up here and just delays, and we got some note blocks on wool and some on wood. And let's sure these are on something different. No, okay, they're just set to a higher pitch. But that's pretty much it. I don't remember how much time I spent on this. It was quite a bit, actually. Redoing circuits and figuring out ways to do things better or differently. Not sure how some of the pigs got all the way down here, but they did. Yeah, that's something occasionally will have a squid spawn in the water as it falls. Everything on it can get pretty laggy, as I said earlier, but I really like this build, and while it turned out to be a lot wider than I initially wanted, I think it has a decent shape. In reality, the airbags, or the gas bags, would have to be a whole lot bigger, but I figure there's some magic or something helping keep this in the air. Almost everything is automated. The wheat farm isn't and still really can't be. But other than there are actually now fully automated chicken cookers, now that there are hoppers. Everything else, is pretty good. I mean, the circuitry for this and for a lot of the other things can be simplified. Definitely having a long timer with a hopper timer would now be what would be done, instead of having a short timer that you keep dividing with T flip-flops. The chicken cooker, how did that happen? The chicken cooker would definitely be done with hoppers now, and would be not relying on actual spawning eggs. You really can't do the cow farm, at least not like this, But there are actual semi-automatic machines that, well, they'll cook the baby pigs or baby cows after they've grown up. But you need a pen and to feed full-size pigs and cows. Assuming these cannons still work, I think they're still pretty good. Oh, you don't have arrows? Well, these arrow shooters are good. You could probably make them shoot faster now with a small circuit and just a switch to turn that on or off. Using comparators. Comparators in divide mode that happen to power themselves and turn the output off again. So something like that could get you rapid fire arrows. But other than that, there's a lot of this is still, a lot of it still works, as you see. And while things can be made better, or maybe smaller, this is still a pretty nice build, I think. And thank you for watching. And try to do some more showing off things, maybe some other stuff from old worlds that I have. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.